All right. We're drinking some tea today.
And a little bit of macadamia nuts in between each stream going
Oh
live.
yeah, everyone loves watching other people eat online. It's great.
Mm.
Um, all right. Are we good, Jay?
Just waiting
Go.
on our biggest one, which is Murr's Facebook.
All
And
right.
then even artichokes have hearts just joined. I like that name on
Nice.
Instagram. Even artichokes have hearts.
They certainly do.
I'm like obsessed with artichokes right now. Do you know that?
I've been obsessed with artichokes since for about 20 some years.
Well, every time I make it, when you come over and I steam them and like put out a little garlic sauce, you freak out.
Yeah.
I've been like just putting them in everything and on everything all the time.
Uh, I think I might have artichokes in my Rachel, since this whole lockdown, she's been making me lunch every day, and I like to have eggs for lunch. So she's been
Nice.
doing a scramble, and I would say artichokes are in my scramble about 80% of the time.
Nice.
Very happy.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Jay, we're talking. So JQ, my brother.
Can
Uh,
I unveil it?
what's that?
Can I unveil them?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ba, 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 ba,
Yeah.
ba, 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 ba.
Yeah. So these are we've got in our
I'll show it
original.
on this stream. You show it to Instagram.
All right, original Maria Treben Swedish bitters, which are pretty awesome. We're very excited about this because we carry Swedish bitters, a number of brands for many years. There's a picture of Maria herself.
And a drawing of her.
Yeah. Is that how she looked when you took a walk with her around our childhood?
You know, it was, she died in 91. I think I met her in 90. So I was like 11. I have no clue what she looked like. To
Yeah.
me, it was just like a bunch of people speaking German were at the house. And I was probably like, can I go like watch Come Fly With Me by
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, you know?
Yeah.
Uh, anyway,
We've come full circle as you watch Last Dance every weekend about Michael Jordan.
I mean, I don't know anyone in any part of the world right now that's not completely obsessed with this. It's so
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But let's talk Swedish bitters.
yeah,
So we're drinking for tea today. If you're drinking something, shout it out. Uh,
I got the book
I do
ready to go.
too. I did too. Right here. All right. So this is the name of Maria Treben's best-selling book. She wrote, I don't know what year it was exactly. Um, well, this copyright is, I think,
No, this is much later because remember
yeah,
it had the old cover. If you look at all the other languages, it's like a bigger book and it has the plants and it's a white cover. This
yeah,
was a reprint. Yeah.
yeah. So it's been published in how many languages? We carry maybe like 20 languages of this book. It's known around the world. It sounds like the Health Through God's Pharmacy. It's essentially just an herbal treatise. Um,
Dad
yeah,
says she looked just like the
yeah. My
picture.
dad chimed in and said she does. She did look like this picture, um, but this drawing. But anyway, um, it's a classic of folklore herbalism, and I say that with love, because so much of what we know so much of what we know about herbs existed before we wrote about it in a scientific manner. So there's good knowledge in here. There's also some things that by today's standards we would say is pretty outlandish claims, to say the least. Do you agree?
I mean, it's just incredibly anecdotal, and the way she writes about it is just like it cures this, and you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa! I don't think you could say that. But
Yeah,
it's
I mean, some examples. Jay, turn down your volume slightly if you can. And
sure.
some examples of that would be like someone was cured of deafness in one ear. I just want to get it out of the way to like say, we're aware that this book, we're not saying go get it and you'll find all the cures in here. And I want to give some examples of some of the things where it's like uh, head and brain injuries have been cured with this. Someone had terrible injury of their right arm and it was cured. Deafness has been improved by this. Like it's fairly absurd. the amount of things that this has supposed. A drunk can be sober on the spot with 2 tablespoonfuls of this highly alcohol filled herbal substance.
That's true.
I know. Um,
That's true.
oh, my camera's going crazy. I'm sorry, everybody.
You know what? There is no web camera in the country right now, so it's okay.
I
It is
know it's
what it
making me crazy.
is. I know.
But yeah, there is something true about taking bitters to help when your body is overwhelmed by alcohol. Uh, but I would say to say a drunk can be sober on the spot with 2 tablespoonfuls. That's not really true. I get what you're trying to say. But anyway, we're going off topic and we're getting a little bit to kind of say this is a classic book. It plays a big role in the history of our store. We have it in about 20 different languages. So if English is not your first language, we probably have one to offer you in your first language. But my goal is not to sell books.
Lori says, "I heard it helps with bankruptcy."
Yeah.
We should be selling we should be selling a ton of this right now. Then,
Yeah.
no. So, but the other thing to remember is that a lot of this stuff is from her experience, and then a lot of it is prior to her experience from this old manuscript she received, right?
Yeah.
Which is been probably translated. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
several times, and was over the course of who knows 100 more years. So
Yeah, like so this is published in the 70s at the later end of her life, the last third of her life as someone who had studied herbalism. So she's sort of distilling what was very old school manuscripts, word of mouth, testimonials, things like that.
you have to just I mean, okay, let's put it this way. I'm not going to defend the fact that she's saying it can cure deafness in this one instance from this old manuscript. However, did people actually have tongues of fire over their heads? I don't know.
Yeah.
Or were you just moved by the Holy Spirit to
Yeah,
the point where you saw it? You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Well, like anything, it kind of goes back to our thing of, the power of the mind. But either way, the point is there is a lot of science about bitter herbs, right? And she was on to the magic. I think the reason I bring it up is to say it's a great read. Even if you'll have to take a lot of things with it.
You will definitely be laughing through parts of it.
Yeah. There's many things like that that will make you laugh, but there's also a lot of truth in it. In that she was on to what people have known for centuries, which are certain bitter herbs have seemingly have great power for helping maintain health and balance in the body. So Jay, let's get back to our tea for a second because it relates.
Yeah.
What are we drinking today?
We're drinking nettle tea, which she said you should drink a cup of every single day with a little bit of Swedish bitters in it. That should be everyone's daily tonic. So I didn't put my bitters in yet. I'm going to do that now.
Oh, nice. So you're going to put it directly in.
Uh-huh.
I just want to show this because I know Dad's watching. I have the original Mers medicinal
cool.
Gold rim little measuring glass, the tablespoons and teaspoon glass. And it's LN Mers and Sons. I don't know if you can see that, but it's pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
Drugs and prescriptions only, it says. But I use it as my little pouring and shot glass.
Some things never change, T.
Yeah.
Just drugs and prescriptions only.
So can we talk, how much do you pour in, Jay? Remind me.
I mean, she says like a teaspoon, but you can, like anything that has somewhat of a laxative effect, like fiber, you can build up a little,
Yeah. All right. I'm pouring it in my tea. First of all, let's talk about the smell of this. Man.
This is a little... This is also just people should know the new one, while it tastes remarkably similar to the old one that is not made anymore that we have.
We carried, yeah.
Yeah. The This tastes so much like it. However, it's lower in alcohol, which should be an advantage, I think, for most people. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's only about 32% alcohol instead of about
That was like 40, 40 plus, maybe.
yeah. So um, let's talk about what's in here. So in Health Through God's Pharmacy, Maria Treben talks about a lesser and a greater Swedish bitters recipe. She gives the recipe for the lesser Swedish bitters, or the smaller Swedish bitters, as they call it. And that's her main recipe that the book is based on.
So she basically says like 4 cups of nettle to 2 tablespoons of, so it's like a teaspoon and a half is roughly like how much you would add to a cup of nettle.
Yeah. Um, this recipe, she later published closer to what she doesn't disclose the greater Swedish bitters in the book, but she later did disclose more parts of it. And so people often, when you read about Swedish bitters and Maria Treben, you'll hear the greater and lesser, or bigger and smaller, grosser and kleiner, if you speak German. Um,
I
the
do.
one the one we have is closer, is trying to be faithful to the versions of the greater Swedish bitters that she has published. So in here are aloe.
As many of those ingredients that can be sourced. You know what I mean?
Well, this is the actual ingredients from the people who have the right to use Maria Treben's name. And this is their, the people that we are in business with on this product told us what's in here. So I'll explain that. It's a proprietary herb blend of aloe, myrrh, saffron, senna leaves, camphor, rhubarb root, zedawari root, manna ash, which is Fraxinus ornis, and then Theriac Venetian, which we've talked about, is like, what is that? Their version of it is valerian, cinnamon and cardamom.
Yeah.
And then there's also carline thistle root and angelica root in here.
It's great for the liver. Yeah, there's like so many aspects of this. Like you're talking about a daily tonic that's cleansing and has a very mild laxative effect, to the point where like some of the things in there are, you know, from fibers that are known to have laxative effect, like a rhubarb root, right? Like
Yeah.
that's something that we know. Like three of the first three things you mentioned, aloe has a cleansing effect.
Senna leaves, of course.
Senna, of course, does. And senna is very mild in it. If anyone's wondering if like the senna causes cramping or anything, in this, it does not in this. You know, I can't obviously speak for everyone, but no one we've talked to, and in the many years that I worked the front of the store and spoke to zillions of people who bought this, no one ever was like, I didn't feel good taking this. Everyone was like, I love this stuff.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, we used to,
Totally.
me and Lori used to have this thing where we used to say, like, like when people come in and they want to cleanse for the year, like in January, that's a common question in the front. We'd be like, let's see if we can get some of these like American, people that come into the store that grandparents aren't from over there and they don't already know about it. Let's see if we can get them to try Swedish bitters.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of like customers from that period that are still just maintain that's like their favorite thing. And there's
Yeah.
there's something immediate about it. It's liquid form. It's in an alcohol base, so it's potent, you know, and it works
Yeah.
quickly.
We have someone saying, I'm from Sweden. I've never heard of them. Are they German? I think it was in Germany and Austria that they were popularized, being called Swedish bitters. Schwedenbitter is the name in German. So yes, I think that it wasn't like they were all over Sweden. It was passed down as a recipe that was from Sweden. Is that right, Jay? You know the
Yeah,
book,
the
the history
recipe
for
the
those better than I
recipe
do.
was from Dr. Samst, who was a Swedish physician, but it was made more popular. There it was traveling by word of mouth. It was never in a book. It was accompanied by a little manuscript that people would copy, and I'm sure changed over time. and it was like these 43 points, and those are some of the ridiculous things that she's like writing in this book. But she got it from Dr. Samst, who is a Swedish physician. She popularized it, and she's become the name associated with it. But she received it from a
Being
Swedish.
Maria Treben.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but she is German, and she got it from a Swedish doctor.
Yeah. Um, Pops is saying Senna usually causes cramps if you use boiling water.
So maybe
Um,
just not quite boiling. Maybe that it's a similar. It's interesting that that with tea you also don't want to use boiling water, right? Like with regular tea, you want to actually go just under boiling anyway.
yeah. Yeah, no, I prefer it. And I think and there's also this feeling of if you don't like the alcohol nature of it, putting it in a cup of tea helps the alcohol sort of evaporate off. So you get even less alcohol if that's something I haven't been drinking any alcohol, but I don't mind I wouldn't mind taking a little shot of bitters anyway, but I like it in tea. And Jay, she's Austrian, not
Yeah, sorry, I
German.
meant Austrian. My bad. Um,
Yeah.
but
So
yeah,
let's talk about why would people want to drink this aside from all the claims about it. Let's talk about,
just bitters, like why bitters are amazing.
why bitters are amazing. What is the benefit of taking it on a daily basis,
Sure, sure. So bitters, we're talking about something that stimulates even before you even swallow it. As soon as your taste buds and your taste receptors
I love
taste
this.
anything bitter, your
Yeah.
gallbladder kicks into high gear and starts producing bile before you even swallow it. I mean, that's amazing. Your body's incredible. And so people
Your
wonder,
body's incredible.
I mean, mine is incredible,
Yeah.
but everyone else's is
Everyone's is incredible.
all's yours is. But no, but seriously, like people wonder why you go to a place like Italy, right? And you have this super bitter aperitif with Campari and or Aperol before a giant heavy meal, and why you
No,
don't
usually after. It's
before
aperitif.
as well. No, aperitif and
True.
digestif. There's two, and
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Aperitif is, you're right. You're right.
and
Um,
before you always have a spritz
yeah.
before because you start to stimulate the bile first. Then you have some big fatty pasta meal. And why do you feel so much better over there? Oh, there's probably multiple variables. The grains are probably better over there. They're not these roundup
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
awful grains. But the custom and the ritual of drinking something bitter beforehand is huge. It's huge. It makes a huge difference. And I noticed the difference myself when you try and drink a little bit of soda and bitters before a meal and then you don't do it the next time. Tell me you don't taste the difference. You'll be amazed
Yeah. Yeah.
at how different it is, you know?
Ace Malone has joined us on Instagram.
Hey.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I agree. Drinking something bitter. I mean, that's just a good test. Take, whether it's a bitter liqueur, Swedish bitters, non-alcoholic bitters, whatever it is, take that before you have a meal.
Artichokes.
Artichoke is a fantastic one.
We got
Many bitters.
that Galaxier one. If you're looking for an alcohol-free one, we have one from
Yeah, from
Flora, right?
Flora.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from Floridix, and that one is artichoke, very artichoke. It's almost kind of sweet, right?
Well, that's especially for people with gallbladder issues who have problems with rich meals.
That
You
stuff's
want to take,
amazing.
yeah. And also, I haven't been drinking, but let's talk, let's give a little quick nod to Chinar as an artichoke liqueur. That is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
Uh,
and they make a now. Dad loves Chinard too, and Dad loves like to have a Negroni or something, but he can't have all the sugar that's in a Campari or an Aperol because those are pretty syrupy, you know.
yeah, syrupy sugar.
And so what he does, we found he was like, I need to find some other bitters, and I was showing him Chinar, and then Chinar makes a high alcohol, low sweet version,
Ooh,
and I showed it to Dad, and he's like, "That's what I want." He made
yeah,
it. He
yeah.
was like, "I'm back."
Because you just put that in a spritz and a little soda
Exactly.
water, and you've got
Yeah.
an ideal little aperitif. So
Little
anyway,
orange peel, amazing.
so a lot of people.
I like how the Swedish bitters and the nettle tea plays together
Oh
too.
man, it's delicious.
Like the greenness of the nettle tea sort of balances the Swedish bitters, and neither are too bitter. It's just kind of like I don't know. It's great.
It's really, really good.
Yeah, I'm feeling
I
like vibrant and
I know.
I was feeling like a little groggy and like slightly headachy before we started, and it's like very much evaporated. That's
Well,
nice.
I was deaf before we started, and there was a giant wound on the back of my neck. And Maria Treben's right; they're all gone. No,
Hey,
I mean, not to make light of things, but I think just when you said that, I was thinking of all the things she says in the book that it cures. If you're just joining us, I'm TQ. This is JQ. We're talking with Tea Time at the Apothecary. We are drinking stinging nettle tea with a little addition of our brand new Swedish bitters that
bittere Schwedentropfen.
yeah, Bitzler Tropfen from Maria Treben that just arrived on our shipment last week. We just got it up on our website. Greta will link it up for us. And I want to talk for those of you who are DIY people. We have
Oh, you have the loose herbs. That's
the
awesome.
loose herbs, small, kleine, small Swedish herbs, and large. So two
Awesome.
different formulas. Maria Treben. This one, I think we're waiting to get I mean, at some point we'll have a label that's more like this, but this is the Greater Swedish Bitters formula. And this
So
one
cool.
is the regular smaller Swedish Bitters formula. So if you want to make your own, you can do that, mix it with alcohol to make a tea, whatever you like. So
Yeah, and we
yeah,
would like.
you really want to soak it in alcohol or like a brandy or
Yeah, yeah,
something.
for sure. We want to. You can use any alcohol probably.
I see Samog just joined us from Portugal right now. Pretty
Nice.
cool. Yeah. What's up, Samog?
We
Great
have a
shade brush.
giveaway. We want to do a giveaway today, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Samog, instant message us. Let's do a shave brush giveaway sometime soon. All
yeah,
right.
please,
On a
please.
different day. We'll do that.
So we need people to drop a little something below saying saying what's your favorite tea, and if you would like to try Swedish bitters, just leave us something, and then Greta will take that and we'll do a giveaway, right? What's the giveaway
Yeah.
today? Are we gonna do a Swedish bitters or are we gonna
We'll
do
do a bottle of Swedish bitters
what?
and we'll
That's
do
amazing.
let's do one of each of the herbs too. So if you want the herbs, if you'd rather make your own, shout that out because someone who doesn't want to make it may not want to get the herbs. So you'll be in a drawing for the herbs. Everyone will be in the drawing for the liquid. And but comment, give us some love wherever you are, whatever channel you're on. We'd love it. All right. Tag any friends that you think might want some bitters, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Um, Jay, I want to point out just a few more things about this book, which we'll also link. It is also just like a classic European herb primer. So she does the same thing. She talks about like a particular herb, what are its names,
Agrimony.
what is it used for, and then kind of gets into the directions on how to use it as its own herb, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to next week. I want to do. I want to talk about decoction versus infusion, and I think that we should
Mm,
get into that, like because Dad always would talk to people, and they would buy the root and then just put boiling water over it. But with a root, you need to soak it,
yeah,
and so we're gonna do a dandelion root decoction next week. I'm
nice.
gonna bring it over
You're
to.
gonna do it, and you're gonna deliver it to me,
This is my
which
life.
I
This is
appreciate
my
it.
life.
Oh yeah. Um,
Oh,
uh,
cool. There's people dropping comments on Instagram, so
nice.
gotta
Thank you.
make sure we check that channel as well when we're going for the giveaway.
Yeah, for sure. And I do want to say, since we always refer to our dad and our mom, growing up in the apothecary, MERS apothecary being 145 years old, I am lucky enough to be the fifth generation owner in the second family to own it. The first generation in my family was our dad, Abdul, who is a pharmacist by trade, and it's a family business. So our mom is a nurse, an herbalist, and we grew up around this business.
She's a
So when
nutrition.
we say our dad says this or whatever, he's online right now. He's dropping his 40 plus years of MERS pharmaceutical knowledge, along with my mom's 40 plus years of nursing, herbal
Nutrition.
knowledge, nutrition knowledge. So when we're referring to that, for those of you who don't know, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Um, so
It's nice to always have them in the chat room too, so when questions come up and I say things like "she was German," Dad can yell at me and just say she was Austrian.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
And big ups to our dad, who my parents weren't on the line yesterday. He had a little something to take care of, but he's back in the mix today. So we're glad to see you here. And Abdul saying it's 47 years. Gosh darn it. Yes, thanks, Pops.
Oh, hey, from Logan Square. Can't wait to try it. Mixing it with lemon balm or nettles, like you mentioned. Love your support. Thank you.
Thank you for the love. We appreciate it.
Casunia. Awesome.
Deb talked about her first Swedish bitters experience was doing a live show. Suddenly felt this wave of nausea. The guy playing my dad handed me a glass of seltzer water with a splash of bitters. I felt so much better pretty quick. Nice. I know that. Can I tell us a bitters story? This is more just like the bitters, but one of my favorite musicians of all time is Taj Mahal.
Yeah.
And our good friend Corey, one of my best friends in the world, was working when we were in college. He was working at a restaurant. Taj Mahal.
Choice.
What? Hobson's Choice, which is where I learned to love artichokes. Do you know that? It comes full circle. That's my love of artichokes, was visiting Corey at Hobson's Choice. Anyway, Taj Mahal came in after the show, and he doesn't drink. And Corey was his waiter, and they were hanging out, doing whatever, late night, just having a meal with the band. And Corey is obsessed with Taj Mahal, and he would drink bitters in soda with a splash of lemon or lime. And that was where I first learned about it, and have loved it ever since. But I've always felt like that. You get a little bit of nausea, grab some bitters, put it in a little soda water, and you're usually ready to roll.
I can tell you another story from that night.
Yeah, one second. Someone's asking, do we carry Jägermeister too? We do not. We do not.
We have Underberg though. Underberg.
Yeah, if you like Underberg, that is we're probably the largest supplier of Underberg in the country for sure.
And it's like if you like the sort of flavor profile of Jägermeister, but minus the sweet, like a lot less sweet, Underberg is definitely the thing for you. And it comes in single serving little mini bottles. Another great story, just to tell you a great story about Taj Mahal now that we're there. But Corey said, he's like, I'm waiting on, he's like my idol and I'm waiting on him. And you know that song, Cakewalk into Town? Everyone should listen to that song today. It makes you really happy.
Yeah, that's a great song.
So much better, I could cakewalk into town. Yeah, and it's like got this tuba bass line. Bump, 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 bump.
Yeah, so good.
Corey goes, hey, I don't want to like make a big deal, but like I'm a huge fan, and I just have one question. On Cakewalk into Town, why tuba? And Taj Mahal just looks at him and goes, why not?
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty cool story.
Yeah, it is a cool story.
Corey thinks it's like some grand idea, and he just goes, I'm just trying stuff, not being precious with it.
Yeah, totally. I'm going to grab 1 second. Hopefully let me show you this. I'm going to grab this so Greta can post Cakewalk into Town on for people who don't know it.
Look how beautiful and green. Can you guys see that?
You're off the screen. What is it?
No, I'm doing it over here.
Oh.
The streams. You see that? Yeah. Like how green and amazing that Nettle tea is? Our Nettle tea is so good.
Yeah.
I've had bags of Nettle tea. It's very... It can vary a lot. This is really good Nettle tea,
I agree. That's our Nettle tea.
Yeah, it's so good.
And I will say this is exciting too. For those of you who like herbs, Mers and Small Flower, we sell a lot of herbs. We source, pesticide-free, organic when possible, wild crafted, but pesticide-free is our main thing. We want pesticide-free herbs wherever we can get them. Our quality of herbs is taking a major step up. They've always been good, but we found some new sources of herbs where they're like this. They're even better than what we've historically been getting. So I'm very excited about a lot of the classic European herbs are going to be even a notch or two higher than they've always been.
Cool.
So it's a good time for herbs at Mers.
That's awesome. Yeah. I love nettle soup.
Nice. Yeah.
Delicacy. Yeah. I want to try this like this nettle pastry that people always keep talking about in like Serbia and Croatia. They keep talking about this. They take fresh nettles and make this almost spanakopita thing out of it, and I want to I want to eat it. I want to try it.
Yeah, I will see what we can do because we have a couple people on our team here who might be able to make that happen, Jay.
Nice, nice.
Yeah. So we have April saying I drink yarrow every night before bed. Jay's a big yarrow fan.
That's
Yeah,
that's one of the ones that I put in your little headache blend that I make for you.
yeah, yeah. Um, I want to say thanks to you, Jay, because you're sort of like you're my folk herbalist, you know?
And a folk musician too, as you can
Yeah,
tell by
yeah,
all of the gear in front of me. This DJ rigs and
yeah,
USB
yeah, yeah,
controllers. Just a
yeah.
little simple folk musician.
You're good folk, kid. Um, but no, you are. Even though I've been the one in the business day to day for 20 some years, I love the herbs, but I feel like I've been so focused on business, technology, point of sales, how do you sell on Amazon, fixing problems, getting a team up and running, all that stuff. Which I'm not complaining about it, but that's where sort of I was able to make an impact. And you came in, and you and Lori used to run the be in the store, and both of you fell in love with herbs in a way that I don't think I can express enough gratitude for.
Oh, thanks, man.
And
Uh,
the other cool thing is we have a bunch of people on our team right now who love herbs, and it makes me very happy.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, it's like I mean, once you're sitting there in that store for long enough and you're selling like other people's products that are already packaged, there's a part of you that just craves, like, I'm gonna make something myself simple and I have access to all these herbs.
yeah,
And when we like ran out of our source for bear's garlic for our when people come in, she talks about it in here as well. The Ramson's drops.
yeah,
Like I was like, we can make that. We have the stuff, like
yeah,
let's just
yeah,
make it. And so, it was fun to do things like that, to make her St. John's oil, to make her, Ramson's drops, and then to still be able to provide that for people out there who are like, I'm never gonna make it myself. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Totally. Well, you're a maker, and I appreciate it. If you are a maker, we're talking Swedish bitters. We're drinking nettle tea with Swedish bitters. Here's
And we're giving some
we're
away.
giving some away. We're giving away these three things that we're holding up right now. Swedish bitters liquid, Swedish bitters small herbs, make your own. Swedish bitters large version, make your own. If you want to be in the giveaway, show us some love. Comment on your favorite tea. Tell us you love Swedish bitters or want to try it in whatever channel you're on. We're going to pick some winners. If you specifically want to make your own, comment on your interesting and make
Say
your
I
own with
want to
yours,
make.
because that's not for everyone, but we'll sort of include you in that drawing
Yeah.
as well. Um, Jay, I've got to run today. It's a busy day for me, but I'm glad I got a Swedish bitters herb tea break with you. And I'm glad I got it with all of you people who joined us. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun, man. I've been waiting for that one because
Yeah,
I was like, how about Swedish bitters and nettle? How about Swedish? You guys were like, wait till it's on the website.
yeah. It's on the website. We'll link it up. You can check it out.
Hey,
Yes,
and Pops had his little procedure yesterday, and he's feeling good, and he's back home. So everyone,
yeah,
give Papa Q some love right
yeah,
now.
yeah,
Send
yeah,
some hearts and stars and claps and whatever those things are.
yeah.
I don't know how these
That
things
would
work.
be great.
But everyone send
Yes.
Papa Q some love because you know how many people he's helped and how many people I talk to and they realize through my music that I'm associated with MERS as well and Small Flower. And they go, oh, oh yeah, is that your dad that I talk to on Saturdays? He helped my son with colic. Oh, he helped my grandmother when she was going through chemo. Oh my gosh, he helped my husband with his
Yeah,
eczema. Like everyone knows dad, and
it's
he's been
true.
such a service to this
Yeah,
city and everyone who's ever come in contact with that business. So thank God he's doing good, and let's all stay healthy by drinking
yeah.
a little nettle
This won't
tea.
be the last time we drink some nettle and Swedish bitters. So thanks for the
Good.
love, everyone. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Back again for some more tea time at the Apothecary. All right. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.